All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 2 of Into the Nether. I'd like to welcome my co-host, Dom, looking damn good below me.
Thank
Got
you.
B, who's all sorts of conceited today and had to take 2 hours to get ready for the show.
Totally did not take me 2 hours.
So Dom and I decided we would dress up today,
Mm-hmm.
look better than B, so
Took me 5 minutes to get
yeah.
ready.
It's like 30 seconds to throw the tie on. I mean,
Yeah.
just saying. All right, guys, so
I was considering ironing my suit, but
you were
It was
considering
fine.
ironing your suit, huh?
yeah, it was fine.
Well, what you been up to this week, Dom?
Did some PvP.
Some PvP, yes, we did. Yes, we did. B epically fails, as usual. She got me killed a whole bunch of times. She was healing us, was she not?
I was not healing. I was on my hunter. I can't heal on my hunter.
Well, that would explain why we kept dying.
Well, you were supposed to go on a healer. That was the deal.
And no, it wasn't. And nowhere, anywhere did it say that I was supposed to go on a healer.
And B, what have you been up to this week?
PvPing as well.
Oh, that's all you did this week was PvP and be in a
No.
bad mood?
No, oh,
Anyways, let's get into this week. Obviously we all PvP together, and that's going to be this week's topic. Is we're going to discuss the new PvP system. There's looks like a lot of good changes coming. I'm very happy about it, and I'm excited. But I guess as far as the system goes, I want to start with you, B. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I like that it's different. I mean, I haven't really PvP'd that much. I haven't PvP'd since Kata. No, I think it's before Kata even. So I'm not as for sure on everything that's going on now. I know that they continue to try to make it separate PvP and PvE as much as they can. That going in as in PvE gear should be. I think it should be hinder a little. You're gonna want to go in. You're gonna want to be in PvP gear because it's gonna help you, so that you separate it as much as possible. So that it looks like them changing the being more like more of a talent system than gear wise. I think it's gonna be a little strange, but maybe it'll help that difference.
I don't know. I take it like from my perspective as a raider. I have to look at yesterday. Yesterday's a prime example. Switch to Boomy, switch to Feral, which I don't have a problem with. It was easy, but it was hard because I have to convert all my gear now. And on top of that, you're asking me to carry around maybe 2 more sets of PvP gear that I've got to go grind out and honor.
Mhm.
So I'm grinding all this stuff for PvE, and you want me to grind out just so I can even have a chance at being competitive. Dom, I don't know. Do you see the point I'm making? Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, I haven't honestly PvP'd since vanilla. Like, really, really tried and made an effort to PvP. It's when Burning Crusade came out and they added resilience gear that
Yeah.
it just threw it off for me. Like, I haven't had fun PvPing since the addition of resilience gear. And I don't agree that the gear needs to be separated.
When was
Like-
resilience gear? When did they bring that out? What
That was Burning Crusade for the
Okay.
the arenas.
Because I had a blast, and I know you guys all did Wintergrass because we needed the raid bosses.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But Wintergrass was fun as hell. It was an open area. Everybody did it. Every 2 hours when it respawned or changed
Yeah.
over?
I mean, I did do Wintergrass, but I made sure to finish that before Cataclysm rolled out because I knew like a lot of the achievements and stuff that I wanted, I wouldn't have been able to get as easily after the fact. Like kill X amount of people in this location or whatever. So I was like rushing to get everything done in time. But that's I don't know. Like that was fun. I did enjoy Wintergrass, but I mean like in terms of like battlegrounds and arenas and stuff like that, like I never got into arenas, but battlegrounds. I used to live inside battlegrounds in vanilla. Vanilla WoW, I was in there every chance I got. I was in Alterac Valley for 6 days in one round trying to win. I was, running the flag all the time in Warsong Gulch. Arathi Basin was probably my least favorite of the 3. But I used to run around like ninjing stables and whatever nodes that I could capture solo and whatever. It was great, but it's when resilience gear was thrown in, it's just like I don't know. Like, I'm more of a PvEer when it comes to like stuff like that in gear. I don't I don't have the bag room. I'm very nostalgic with things. So I have like all toys and trinkets. I have like really sticky glue and
Really sticky.
loofahs and things from like Vanilla WoW that you can't get anymore. And like so much gear from ZG, so much gear from original Nax that like my void storage is completely full.
Oh God, you
Um,
filled your void storage too?
yeah, I have both tabs of void storage and
What
all
the
20 slot
crap?
bags in my bank. Everything is full.
Yeah, yeah,
So
my bank is full of crap like that, but I
yeah,
haven't really thrown that much into void storage yet. I guess I thought I
yeah.
was
I
an
mean, so
admin
I don't
man.
even have the room to carry PvP gear. So when they separate the gear, even by taking the resilience off of it, but
Yeah,
they're still like adding armor and whatever else,
PvP
stamina,
power,
mech,
I guess it
whatever.
was last expansion.
It's still two
Yeah, it's
separate
PvP power
sets
now.
of gear.
Yeah, I'm with Dom. I've got so much crap because I do the same thing. I collect things. I have the mallet you used to have when you had to ring the gong to open up the I can't even think of what it is right now. But I mean, I have all those, and I have trinkets and toys, the things that are not included in the toy tab now, which the toy tab was awesome. Just to
Yep.
say, just a little, the heirlooms. I mean, all of that is as they slowly try to open up our space. It's still, I'm constantly going, oh well, I didn't get that out of that raid because my bags are full of crap.
Hmm.
Well, and that's I'm still in the same boat. I like the system not having PvP gear because I'm stuck with you guys. I have trinkets from Wrath of the Lich King that literally have no stats or anything. They don't do anything anymore because they completely dismantled them when they went into Kata. But I still
Right.
have them because I don't want to give them up because I loved raiding in Wrath. So me adding, another set of gear, I agree with you guys. It's difficult. You have to
Yeah.
decide.
I mean, I'm not so much nostalgia with anything that's currently in game. Like I like even Vanilla WoW, like a Blackwing Lair. Like I tried forever to get the Drake Fang Talisman. When I finally got it, it was great. As soon as I upgraded it, it was gone. I deleted it out of my bag. Vendored it, whatever. So I'm not super nostalgic and stuff like that, but it's like something that gets removed, like ZG, the original ZG, original
Yeah.
Nax. Like you cannot get any of that gear anymore. So that's the kind of stuff I have like almost every single quest reward left from the AQ Scepter chain. Like
Ooh.
you
Hmm.
can't do that chain anymore. I still have like the proximity of Nozdormu and the like agent of Nozdormu and the scepter of the Shifting Sands. Like all that stuff is in my bank. The draconic amulet from the original Onyxia quest line to turn you into a drake in the cave near Onyxia's lair. You can't get that item anymore. So it's just stuff like that like I really, really just my bags are just obnoxiously full. So I don't have the room. I would love to PvP, but I want to be where people are kind of on equal footing, like raid gear and PvP gear. It could like being equal. I see pros and cons to it, but I don't want to collect a whole other set of gear just to do another thing in the game.
All right, so I think we're all on the same page as far as that goes. But I do want to talk about humans and that damn racial because it's pretty much been the best racial. I think pandas probably come close for PvEers and trolls, as we talked about earlier today. But that every man for himself. I mean,
It
that's
has been,
traditionally it's basically another trinket in
Right.
yeah,
PvP.
it's been the argument since day one that it's overpowered. Uh, I mean, like you said, like some of the other ones. I mean, we got damage buffs and such, but when it comes to PvP, that is literally that's the thing. I mean, you got most of the other classes don't really have anything that's even just for like blood elves, for instance. I have a silence. It's retarded.
Silence is good though. It's good. Um, ever since Will the Forsaken was changed for undead, where you had to pop it beforehand, like it became less good. But in PvP, you get feared and you pop that thing. Like undead were the best horde PvPers.
Well, yeah, you got me and my druid, which is Torn running around with what is it, War Stomp?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
does a whole
worse
hell of a lot of good.
that's
Oh,
like
let
my
me
silence.
stomp at you and then run away because that's what we do. So I mean, what's your take? I think, and this is just me, but I want to know what you guys think as far as I think we're going to start to see racials either being changed drastically, or we might just see these racials disappear to even out the balance between the factions.
Well,
Yeah.
they did start to do stuff like that. They did get rid of some racials. They did change some racials to, because there was I can't think of what is some of the racials that added extra, crit ones that did like extra run speed and some other things. They took some stuff like that out. What else? I'm trying off the top of my head. I can't think of things off. But yeah, they did start to try to do that a little. But I don't know if they'll take them completely out. I know they for surely they have to change the human racial. And there's gonna be a bunch of, obviously anyone who plays a human is gonna bitch and have a hissy fit. But
that's the problem. It's only one fucking faction. So
mhm.
basically, you've got the Horde side getting the crap beat out of them because now essentially they can have, 3 trinket procs to get out of snare stuns, any debilitating movement effects. Is that correct?
2 at least. I don't know.
Well, you can get the 1 trinket plus your
Yeah.
racial, and I
Yes.
think you can double trinket that, can't you?
I don't think you can.
Did they change it? I know you used to be able to double trinket it.
But see, here's the thing now. They're talking about in Legion now that they're going to take away stat bonuses.
Yes.
They're going to take away trinkets, and something else that they said, weapon procs maybe. I don't remember now. There was a third thing, but they said that they were going to be removed in Legion because they felt classes that would stack all this stuff and they would
Yes.
burst and take you down in like one shot. Otherwise, they felt like they weren't doing damage. And I agree with that. I think that's great. But now, does that also include PvP trinkets, or are there going to be special PvP trinkets now?
I don't think there will be special PvP trinkets because there's that whole new PvP ability system. So, I mean, essentially, if they do get rid of the PvP trinkets and they're not allowing set bonuses and trinkets in the PvP areas, then humans will still essentially have a trinket. They will.
Right.
They'll be running around at the top of the heap. Just, let me run out of this. Now, I have to say, druids, though, anytime we shapeshift, they did give that back to where we can get out of snaring effects and all that crap, too, just by shapeshifting. So there's 2, basically. One's a class, one's a race. And if humans lose every man for himself, does that mean druids are going to get crapped on again and everybody's going to complain that we have this ability?
Apparently, the human racial shares the same cooldown as the PvP trinket.
Yeah, I think that was a change that happened a couple expansions ago. So it's because the big argument was it frees up a trinket slot for them.
Okay.
That's why it's still so good,
Well, yeah, that allows them to bring out a different trinket in then.
Yeah. But Thadros also says that in chat he goes, he thought it made them not active rather than removed. Yeah, the trinkets are still going to have procs on them. By me saying that they're taking them out means just not in PvP. You're not going to have them in PvP. So that's why I don't know. Are there going to be special PvP trinkets for the insignia of the Horde or whatever the Alliance version is called?
I don't know, for something else we'll come up with later.
Yeah, where you could break movement impairment. Is that going to be disabled too? Is nobody going to be able to use that trinket anymore? I don't know.
And that's a good question because I have mine sitting in my bank still, from when I was PvPing in Wintergrasp. I still have a set of PvP gear. I still have the trinket just sitting there, the insignia of the Horde. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think there's one in for Alteric Valley too that you could use to teleport yourself back.
What?
Well, I have not seen that trinket.
That's crazy. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I'm almost positive. At least I remember it from Vanilla. If you got a certain reputation, which I don't think they carry reputations anymore, but you were able to buy this trinket that if your base was getting attacked, you put the trinket and you would use it and it would send you back to your base.
Oh, it's like a Hearthstone directly to your base and instantaneous.
Yeah.
But that would still be hugely OP even today.
I'm pretty sure it's still in there. I'm almost positive, but I'm curious if stuff like that is going to get removed as well. Like I said, I personally haven't PvP'd a whole lot, intermittently here and there, and usually it's I'll go into a battleground, get stomped, and be like, all right, it's obviously because I don't have the right gear, and I'm not going to bother going to get it. So
Well, and yeah, I agree with you. You know, we went into those battlegrounds in those arenas, and the arenas were fun because we were just being stupid at that point. But when we were in the battlegrounds trying to cap points, and it just seems like PvP is, you know, yeah, there's the people with the gear, but you also have the people who are just there to kind of ruin things for people. You know, you try to do the right thing and go cap the point, defend the point, you know, and move back and forth as you're supposed to. Especially when I was running around as a healer, I was the, you know, you saw the charts. I was literally the only one really healing in the 5 battlegrounds we did, and it's kind of annoying that I'm in there running around trying to keep people alive so we can
yeah.
at least get a semblance of a win.
I mean, I'm sitting at like 695 gear, so
Yeah.
it's not like I'm low, but I'm
Mhm.
still getting destroyed because
That
PvP
PvP
gear is
power.
different.
You know, the resilience. You don't have that way
But
to negate.
I don't
Like,
think
instance-
I thought they took resilience off.
Yeah, that's
and
what
it
I-
was
I was
just,
just it was just the
PvP
word I
power.
used.
it's the
But
power now, right? And you have a
Yeah.
base resilience, correct?
uh,
Everybody gets a base resilience is what it is when you
Yeah.
enter into the PvP ground and they balance your stats. But the
Mhm.
balance, you know, that they put in, I don't think is enough. And, you know, like Dom said, 695 gear, you think you'd balance out pretty damn good with your gear on and be kind of competitive against another player. But
Yeah. Because I mean, I remember back in vanilla, like I had full tier 3. I had 8 out of 9 tier 3, and I'd go into battlegrounds or whatever, and I would be able to keep up with the people that had full warlord set of gear and stuff like that. We'd be able to go toe to toe, and it was pretty evenly based. Like maybe I had a slighter advantage, whatever. But I remember going in with a team Warsong Gulch where I went in with my old raid team who was not past they cleared Molten Core, but they could not even step foot into Blackwing Lair. They
yeah,
could not get Razor Gore down for their life. So I was the only one max geared, and they were all Molten Core full geared. They cleared Rag and all that, and we were having our strategy is what mattered, and that was able to surpass the gear. Yeah, they overpowered us in gear, but our strategy was a little bit better. That's what ended up winning for us.
well, I think part of the
So-
problem in PvP anymore is no one really collaborates like that very well. Everyone goes in there and they just kind of want to do their own thing, and one person will be trying to lead, but everyone's just like. But for instance in the Arctic Valley that we did, it's still the same thing. It's Horde runs to the Alliance base, and Alliance runs to the Horde base. And Alliance still has that straight shot to our
Yep.
base, and then they just kind of.
that straight shot really doesn't matter, though. I mean, it really doesn't. Yeah, we got to go through a little more crap. But the problem comes down to, and we've hit this in the past, LFR has kind of messed a lot of things up. Having the ability to look for group, look for battlegrounds, look for raids. There is no sense of, oh, I'm on my server representing my name and my guild. It doesn't matter what I do because I'll probably never see these people again anyways. So they do run off and do whatever they want to do, and they just they're there for kills, and they don't care. They don't care about capping points or, like Dom was trying to point out in that battleground we were in, hey, we need to come kill them now, and as soon as we cap the graveyard, we need to be in the room trying to kill the bosses.
Yeah, and that's what we, and there were some of us that were attempting that, and then you get those people that want to stand on the bridge and kill people, and then that causes that problem, and then
And the funny thing is, you see a lot of the people, the old school people that were there in Vanilla WoW and in even Burning Crusade when that was a much longer battleground where sometimes it took a day, 2 days, 3 days to finish. They knew the strategy and they were going after the old school method because that's still the best method to win. So but then you get the new school people coming in where they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. So they're all just running around like chickens with their heads cut off. I think what this really needs is WoW needs a dedicated in-chat voice system, something better than what they have in the game right now. Because they're changing the whole PvP system right now to be in line with Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty has voice chat. Yes, most of the time it's annoying. Most of the time you just go down the list and mute everybody because it's
Yeah, you don't want to hear them
playing
talk.
the game. But to have the ability to have somebody talk and communicate and be like, okay, everybody go here, and then everybody's going to listen, because a lot of people don't read.
No, they don't.
No,
Chat's just kind of off on the side.
Yeah, so I think the big change that PvP needs right now is some kind of in-game voice communication that is not optional to turn on. It should be on.
Yeah, okay, but here's the problem with that. And you're
And
talking.
then you can mute people after the fact, but start with it on default for everybody.
But take into account your Mumble servers, your Type Frags, your these other places where we get our servers from. You're now cutting money out of their pocket.
I'm not saying to replace the system. Have it only active in battlegrounds, like Call of Duty.
But
Like it's only
okay,
there. It works in the lobby, whatever, and you can use the PlayStation chat if you'd prefer, or the other system that I don't want to talk about. But you could be in a private group and have these conversations with people that supersedes your in-game one, and that's what Ventrell or Mumble would do. So if you're in a group with people like that, you would sit there and talk in Mumble. You don't have to use whatever the push to talk is in WoW, but that should be there for
now
people to use.
I don't remember, but the voice chat system they do have in there
It's
is there a put? I know it's shitty because I tried to use it when I first started playing. I didn't know what Mumble was or Typewriter, and so my friend and I, we tried to connect and do that while I was in England, and it was so bad. We would try to talk and we'd get cut off constantly.
Yeah.
Does that system have like a push to talk key, and is it set to on, or is it just left off unless we manually go in and turn it on?
You could set a push to talk key, and all that, but like it's a really shitty system and nobody uses it because it's so awful right now. So that's what I think PvP needs. I think they really need to focus on that because it's a huge benefit in games like Call of Duty. Like
Oh,
if
it
it
is.
wasn't, Call of Duty would have disabled it a long time ago.
No, because like you can play with people from all over the world, and just like WoW, that communication is key to capping the proper point or capping the flag at the right time. That's huge. You take the alliance person down. Sorry, alliance, I'm horde. So take the alliance person down, and then you're yelling, across Mumble, hey, cap it, cap it.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm not talented enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna go capture this tower, and then as I'm capturing the tower, a rogue jumps me, or a druid or whatever. I don't have enough time to talk and be like typing a sentence, I got jumped in North Tower, come help, and still live and fight the druid. Like I don't
Well,
have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
did you
If I
guys
just hit a
notice that?
button, I can do that while I'm fighting him. I
when
can
we
just say
were
it.
when we were in there, somebody just kept typing help in chat repeatedly. Like it was hilarious because they never told us where they were getting, killed. Like we were talking and me and B kept getting, ganked
we had a couple
over and over coming
transmissions.
across, but that person was just like help, help, help. What where? It just doesn't help us. But you're
Yeah.
right, the voice chat system would make a huge difference. I don't know. I still equate it to, and I don't know how you feel about this, B, but I still equate it to the looking for group system coming in. I think that ruined a lot of the community and the communication we had. And I use Wrath for an example because I spent hours upon hours, spamming for raids, spamming for battlegrounds, spamming for dungeons. I mean, and you knew who you were running with. You talked to them. We had our voice servers, and we would bounce around to 4 or 5 voice servers depending on what group we were running with. So I think this has really changed. Thaydris, what do you need help with? I can't help you if you don't tell me what.
I think I spent probably about 90% of my Wrath of the Lich King in Dal, running around in a circle, finding those groups and doing that stuff. And I agree with you that look for group. Not only is it made, I hate to say this, but crappier players. And now we have this attitude where a lot of people just want to be things given to them. And it's like, okay, well, this is easy. I'm not saying like, oh, the game's easy, blah, blah, blah. But that's that mentality that's now been established that, oh, I can go in LFR, I can just get all this gear. I don't have to pay attention to mechanics. I don't need to, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. And it comes into the same stuff with battlegrounds. I'm just going to go into this battleground and I'm going to do whatever I want. And that's why there's no organization and why things can't, I mean, it's not that way all the time. Sometimes you will get somebody go, oh, well, I want to do this, and we'll win. And then everyone pays attention. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. But most of the time you are going to get this word just everyone's just like, oh, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. I right now, the way you can't take LFG out, you can't take LFR out. The only way to make it better is, like Dom said, they have to improve that voice chat system. And people have to be willing to get on there and actually, communicate. They have to. Even if they don't want to and the system's on, like you said, I don't know. They have to communicate and they have to willing to be team players, or we're going to continue to have issues in battlegrounds.
I mean, they're sprucing up the honor system, right? We got this whole new honor system coming out with all these cool new rewards and everything. Like they're toting it. It's basically the prestige system in Call of Duty. That's
Yes.
more or less what they mirrored it off of. And yeah, it's nice. It's flashy. It's going to attract people to it. But if PvP hasn't improved, if it's still the same design that it's been, where you just go in and get stomped, and unless you're specifically devoting all your time to PvP, which most of the community does not do, you know, like yeah, there's a good portion of PvPers out there. I'm not trying to undermine them at all, but the majority of this game are PvE raiders or casual, people that come in and just do whatever on both sides. There's much less hardcore raiders, or much less hardcore PvPers than there are raiders.
Yes.
So,
Okay, so of our 6.4 million subs we've lost in the last 2 quarters, how many of them were the PvP community because they weren't being taken care of?
it's possible that it's a rather large number of that, but a lot of that has to do with the way Ashran was functioning too. Like I put the PvP thing in my garrison, the Gladiator Sanctum,
Gladiator.
whatever.
How did you?
I haven't even gone through one class. Like you have to go and kill like 200 of each race in somewhere in Draenor, whatever. And Ashran seems like, oh, it's the perfect place. And I was like, oh, I'll start with Night Elves because Night Elves are everywhere. I'm not even halfway through it, and this was months ago. This was like 4 months ago that I put this thing in there.
Well, I mean, yeah, so the Gladiator thing, like, I never put it inside, but I did go to Ashran when the expansion first came out. And I was really excited because, again, every expansion, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and do PvP. I'm going to see if I like the changes and see if I can do this. I get into Ashran, I get in bear form, I'm running around, everybody's buffing me and healing me, and then I run into a fucking wall because it's nothing but dead lag, and nobody can move, nobody can cast spells. The boss that's running around is totally owning every fucking Horde player that was there, and the Alliance is just, standing there frozen. So nobody was dying, and then you would finally die, and you'd run back and have to wait 10 minutes just to res because the lag was so bad.
Yeah.
So
I
how
did
do you
not-
get those 200 kills?
I didn't have not set foot in Ashran. I have had no inkling. I have had no want. I have not. No. I'm like, no. Like I said, I'd stopped doing my PvPing a while back. I mean, I used to be hardcore. I used to be in PvP all the time. That's all I did. And I wasn't really arenas. I did a lot of battleground. But it just, as over time, I've kind of just been like, nah, it's less and less wanting to. And this expansion was like, no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's hard when there is no catch-up mechanic. There's nothing that will make a player like me or you competitive. So when I go get my face punched in and I'm healing and I'm just healing and healing and I can't even out-heal one person attacking me, that's pretty discouraging. How am I supposed to want to stay there?
Yeah, I mean, the way it worked in vanilla, yeah, the honor system was broken as fuck in vanilla, but they had access to get their PvP gear. We had access in raids to get our PvE gear, and they worked interchangeably in each. We used to have PvPers come raid with us in full high warlord gear, and they're keeping up with our top raiders, in terms of damage. And yeah, that may seem a little broken because, PvP is easy. And, they just walk in there and get the gear, but it wasn't. Like, they busted their asses to get that gear. So, it's
Remember
all,
when
yeah,
it was
they
taboo?
didn't kill the top end raid boss or whatever, but they still worked hard for it. So there's no reason they shouldn't be able to use it in a raid.
Remember when that was a taboo though? Like for like a little while there was this everyone's like, oh, you can't be in this dungeon. You're in PvP gear. What are you doing?
Wait, yeah, Wrath was
Well, that
the
was the
worst.
thing.
Yeah,
that was the
Wrath
thing
was
ever
really
since
bad.
Burning Crusade, because with the addition of resilience gear, by increasing the stat of resilience meant you had to decrease the other stats, which
Mhm.
made that gear less effective in PvE.
But what was I mean, honestly, crafters would make PvP gear starting at Wrath, and everybody would go get that PvP gear because it was the quickest way to get an eye level, to get into the dungeons, to get in the raids, so you as a group or your guild could start raiding, getting gear, and getting bosses down. But then you had the people who would be like, oh, you're in blue PvP gear? Well, I know this only needs 650. You can't come in here, but you're 666. What, are you kidding me? Go away. Go away because you're just looking at item score versus how good that player is. Like Phil said the other night, are you going to pull your weight?
Like, believe me, I want to PvP. Like, I used to love PvP.
You're a rogue. If you don't want to PvP, there's a problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to love PvP, but I can't. If it comes down to raiding or PvP, I will raid every time over, the thing. And I don't have the bag room. And it's not even having the bag room. It's the fact that I even have to swap the sets to begin with, because it's like, oh, did I leave it in my bank? Oh, I don't feel like going to my bank. It's just effort. It's like,
I used to do
hard.
that. I used to do that. Like, I gotta go back to down and put. No,
I don't want to push that button right now.
I mean, not that it's hard to like go to the bank and get the gear or whatever, but it's a hassle. Like, that's what it's a hassle. So they could do something, even if they really felt the need to separate the gear. They could do something like Diablo has, where you switch. Oh, you have set 1 of weapons, set 2 or whatever, and you could toggle between them. You can have equipped item manager for PvP and PvE gear, so you're wearing it, but it's not active unless you're in one of the situations. And then when you're out in the world, if you go into a dungeon or PvE or a raid or something like that, it should automatically be your PvE gear. If you go into a dungeon, a battleground or an arena, it should automatically be your PvP gear. And if you're out in the world, you should be able to toggle which one you want on. That would solve that complete problem. Then you don't have anything in the bank.
That'd be really nice for classes like paladins and druids that have multiple gear per. Like, oh, I'm gonna tank, oh, I'm gonna heal, or whatever, and just easy flip.
No, yeah, it would be really nice. Okay, so here's my thing, right? So from vanilla till now, PvP has been broken. But see, this is where it becomes a real problem, because Blizzard is owned by Activision, essentially, correct? Okay, so Activision kicks out 2 huge PvP games, Call of Duty and Destiny. Now, I know I've got 700 plus hours in Destiny, and most of it's PvP through their Crucible system. I mean, they have the ability right there to go look and see, how can we make this better? How can we make this fun? Obviously, whatever they're doing for Destiny and Call of Duty is absolutely working, because Call of Duty has over 100 million players, and it's fired, what did I say last night, 32 gazillion shots? That's absolutely ridiculous. Last I checked on Destiny, I don't remember what they said at the second quarter calling, but I want to say they said they had over 20 million people playing that game every day, logging in. So they're doing something right, because PvP is the essential parts of those games. The rating is not only 13% of anyone who's played Destiny has completed the raids at this point. That came out in the initial X-Pack. So PvP is where it's at. That's what everybody's doing. Why hasn't Blizzard turned to them before, now to go, oh, we'll put the prestige system in from COD? I don't know. What do you think, Dom?
I don't know. It's just PvP is a huge mess right now, and I think they know what's going on, but I don't think they know how to fix it either. And I'm not saying that all my suggestions are solutions, because I'm sure there's downfalls of those things in place too, but
they see the data that we don't see, so yeah, I mean, they may know something.
Yeah. I don't know. I know every time that I go down to BlizzCon, Halinka is always around. He's always very accessible, and he'll sit and talk, and he really is interested in talking PvP. Like, he goes out of his way. I, who don't PvP very much, had a 2.5-hour conversation with Halinka, not last year, but the year before at BlizzCon, about PvP. And, he really takes that feedback to heart. So he is listening. It's what's right for their system,
I mean, my big thing is this game became a titan in the industry. It became the #1 MMO because they were able to translate to PvE players and PvP players. And then they were able to mix it up some more when Wrathen, came out. They were able to help the casuals actually get into some raids, and they pushed it forward, and they keep evolving it. But it seems like the further we go down the line, the more focused on PvE we become, and the easier that is to deal with. And it kind of feels like the PvP players are getting left behind.
I totally agree. Because that's what I was thinking when Dom was talking, is that that they are very, very focused on, the raids and the dungeons and all of that stuff, because I honestly think the player base is more heavier towards that direction, so it makes sense for them to go that direction. But there are those PvPers, and if as things do change, as if with what's coming down the line and this new system, and maybe they'll start getting more PvPers, and maybe then we'll start seeing them focus more that direction. But I think that they're going to continue to go with what the player bases is, and right now I think that's more PvE than it is PvP.
No, and I understand that, but I still think they've lost a lot of players just because they're not pushing out as many PvP, maps and stuff as they should be. I think we should at least get maps. Change it up, give it a flavor. I don't know, Dom. How long ago was it that we were supposed to get a MOBA map? I mean, come on.
We were supposed to, rumor, when it was coming around, the talk of Miss Pandaria, because it was Pandarian themed. It was the Blizzard All Stars map, or
Oh God! Before it was HOTS.
Yeah.
Before it was HOTS.
Before it was
Yep.
HOTS.
We were supposed to basically essentially get something like that. Dota. It was a Dota map. And it was, I forget now what it was called. Defender of the Ancients.
We have it.
Yeah, I think that was the name of the map. And
Defense of the Ancients. Yeah, but they changed it completely.
Yeah, we have that, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it was literally DOTA, Defender of the Ancients, whatever.
Dota.
Yeah, so that was like the big joke or whatever, and it had the lanes and it had everything like you would see on the Dota map or whatever, but then Blizzard All Stars became more prevalent. I think they were like testing the waters and stuff, and they said they couldn't really get the feel right, and it was basically like creating another game within a game. So it wasn't exactly PvP. It functioned completely differently. It was basically like playing a MOBA inside the game, and I think it felt so different than everything else that was in the game that's why they ended up scrapping it.
But I think if they would have and that's what I think some players are looking for. They're looking for that flavor to go, oh hey, let's go do this MOBA map. It's a little bit different. It's not your normal.
Yeah.
It's a flavor thing, and a lot of people like different flavors.
Well, like the other thing is like my favorite map of all time, Battlegrounds, is Warsong Gulch. Like,
okay,
I know every little trick there is, including when you're in a game where like the enemy team is very offensive, like, and if you're playing Horde into the Alliance side anyway, like you can go in there, take the flag out, and then like drop down by their graveyard because none of them are dying if they're they really, and nobody expects you to go that way. And I did that in the map we were in when we just played last night, and everybody else couldn't make it, like down the ramp, all this stuff. They're dying in the tunnel, they're dying at the side ramp. I went down through the graveyard, made it all the way to our base. Like I made it to our flag room. I died in our flag room because they had our flag, but I know that whole map inside and out. I know how to weave through it. That map is so much fun. But Warsong Gulch, yeah, we have Twin Peaks, right? And we have Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm's a little bit different.
Oh,
See,
man,
Eye of the Storm is my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it crosses AB with Warsong Gulch. It's basically a mixture of the two. But then you have Twin Peaks, which is very much like Warsong Gulch again. But we don't have a whole lot. There's some new maps that they added that, are capture points, not like capture the flag, but capture points. But give us more variety of that. Like, give us more capture the flag type maps. Give us like 3 of them, 4 of them, 5, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You could just keep releasing another map with the exact same style game. Make it domination, make it capture the flag, King of the Hill, whatever you want to make. But you could have multiple maps for that same rule set.
I think a lot of people like to capture the flag, and I think it's easier, and I think it's a better gameplay than the capture the bases thing. I mean, it's got its own thing, and every words.
Words.
I know. I mean, it's got its own thing. I mean, it's not fun. It's not that it's an issue, but I think that I think in things like AV that it's not. It doesn't become a priority. It doesn't become something that people want to do. Like you just said, it's the run to the base and kind of try to do whatever. But I think you capture the flag situation, and there is a lot you can do with the capture of the flag. That I think more PvPers would come of that, and that's what I like.
I mean,
That's all I hear from B right now. Is blah, 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 blah.
they've been pumping arenas and stuff out pretty regularly. Did we see one last expansion? Yeah, we did. We got one in Mists of Pandaria, but we didn't get one this expansion.
No, we didn't. We just got Ashran this expansion.
Yeah. So I mean, the arena front, they've been doing pretty good, staying on top of that.
But okay, so how hard is it, honestly? How hard is it to make a map? I mean, how much time is it taking one of their artists to create a different map in one of the zones?
I mean,
And I want to get to that.
It's going to take more work than you think. Because it's not like, because everybody's conception is, oh, it's easier than making a dungeon because dungeons are so long and you have to make a path and you have to make all the artwork, you have to put the bosses in, and building a battleground, you just drop it in there. Well, guess what? You don't. You have to have the map somewhat balanced. You have to have it the same because you see how AV is set up where it's drastically different, depending on the base you start in, and that really has a major impact on the entire game. So Warsaw and Gulch you saw, they're pretty similar. There's a few little terrain differences or whatever, but for the most part, the map is similar. AB, the same thing. Eye of the Storm, same thing, etc., etc. They've learned since then.
Yeah, the only difference is like height elements in some of the buildings and different things. But other than that, you're right. It's still relatively.
Okay. But
and they need to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be extremely, extremely different, and you're going to run into the same problems AV has.
Okay, so is it fair for PvP players to expect to see at least 1 or 2 maps per expansion? I mean, is that too much to ask for? I don't think it is either. And I think this is why we have a drought in our PvP community right now. I don't feel that there is anybody besides, like, if you go look, Bashira is really still pushing PvP pretty hard. And, Lore, he's still doing the audio stuff for the big tournaments going on right now, the arena finals. So the invitation number 3 just happened today. And Bashir was there doing, the voiceover stuff and talking about it. And he was super excited about it. And a lot of people watch the PvP, but there's not a lot of people that participate in the PvP.
Yeah, it's true. But there's I know MLG, a couple other people, WoW was just saying recently that they've been in talks with companies like that who are interested in seeing WoW as an esport.
Well, I absolutely think it should be, but shouldn't it be, if you're willing to watch it and you think it's fun to watch until you get in there and then you start PvPing, shouldn't it still be just as fun? Shouldn't the people watching, if you've got 20,000 people in your channel watching it, right? Those 20,000 people should want to go play it when they're done watching it. I mean, so where's the disparity?
Yeah.
Being that there's a lot of factors in game. You have, especially with comes to certain servers, you have some servers where your ratio between Alliance and Horde is gonna make a difference. It doesn't make sense why, because when you're going to a battleground, it's like, oh, okay, well, you have the same amount of people. For some reason, it still can function funny. It's like, oh, okay, well, they do more PvP, or this side does more PvP because they win all the time. So they have better gear because they win all the time. And that becomes the issue. And it's like, well, I don't want to be in there. We lose all the time.
Well, nobody likes to lose. Come on.
See, what would actually even be cool too is if, for whatever reason, let's say they don't have the time to build a whole new battleground or can't think of anything that's so original or whatever that they feel they're happy with, they could reskin the battlegrounds too and just have that be random. Can you imagine Arathi Basin done as Burning Legion kind of theme?
That would be awesome. I think that would be amazing.
Just have the ground be all the rocks that you would see, and then the water would be the green lava, and have it actually function as lava. So instead of swimming through, it changes the strategy. Now you have classes that can knock people back into the water, and now they're taking damage. Things like that would be crazy.
Yeah, stuff like that. They could even do, for instance, holiday stuff, because a lot of people they like to do the holiday stuff. So you get, let's say, extra different achievements in PvP when the holiday events are going on.
Yeah,
and then
What would be cool too is if they could change some terrain up and make some things like slippery. Like, can you imagine?
Oh my
having
God.
ice?
Like ice, and you
Yeah.
slide across the ice.
Where like you wouldn't go flying, but like you stop and maybe you'll slide a little bit, so you can't just stop on a dime anymore.
You know, I would play that battleground over and over again with you guys just to watch B run and then slide right the fuck off the edge.
No.
Because you know she would do it repeatedly. Hey guys, I'm going over here. Ah!
But just little things like that on a rotation and seasonal or random, would keep people interested in PvP, keep things different, things like that. So
No, 100% agree with you. I do want to bring up what Daedrus in chat is talking about, and that's Hutball. Star Wars, The Old Republic, probably in the last 5 years has the most original PvP play type. Now, I wouldn't, I know Blizzard, they're really good at taking things that work and using them to their advantage. I say we call it, punt the gnome ball or something, but
Hunt the gnome.
punt the gnome.
Hunt the gnome.
what was that game in Star Wars Old Republic
That's
with
what
the ball?
Wait,
That's what I just said.
we're
Hutball.
talking about Hutball.
Hutball.
Yes. Okay.
Hutball.
Yeah.
So that's what chat's talking about. Why hasn't Blizzard taken Hutball? Because it is massively popular in Star Wars and in the PvP community. Why hasn't it been put in the game? It's such an easy thing for them to take and tweak and make it their own. Like, that would be amazing. And I think that'd bring a lot of casual players back to go, oh, I can run around with a ball and throw it at people? Hell yeah.
Why don't we just add Final Fantasy X's Blitzball?
That was amazing too. No, you're not too far off. I don't mind it. Yeah.
Now I know as a league player, and I play a lot of ARAMs. I'd like to see an ARAM style, just full out brawl.
Gnome ball.
Battleground.
We had that.
Where?
Terinn Mill versus South Shore.
Oh.
It was for the
Yeah.
anniversary.
Okay, but
Well, bring it back.
But see,
Bring it back.
okay, I'd like to transition into this, as when we're done talking to Hutball. I want to talk World PvP. I've got a really good story to tell, but I mean, seriously, Dom, why don't we have Hutball?
There's no huts in Warcraft.
But there's goblins. What's his face? It's kind of equivalent. What's the goblin leader's name? B?
Gallywinks.
Gallywix. You can't see Gallywix sponsoring a tournament like that? Where
You make
basically
money.
it's to kill each other and score with the ball, and you're not allowed to use your feet if you kick the ball. You know all the rules that spew off at the beginning of it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that would fit Gallywix, putting on a big tournament. Maybe in the casino, if we
Well,
ever get the Mythic Casino.
Basically,
Would that be cool?
He's a
What are you laughing about, Dom's like, I don't know.
He's the Warcraft version of a hut. He really
He is. He is. So, wait, Dom, I guess I'm going to bring this up. I mean, is the casino a myth like the dance studio?
No shit.
Casino, I don't think was actually ever honestly thought about putting in. I think it was just a highly requested feature that
But
people
wasn't
wanted.
it talked about it going into, what's the zone right next to Orgrimmar? Ashara? Into the Ashara zone? I thought that was briefly discussed to be there.
I don't recall. I remember that being like a fan thing that everybody wanted, but I don't remember Blizzard ever coming out and saying that they were going to have a casino in the game.
Gallywix
Because-
has got his pleasure palace.
Yes,
Yeah,
he does have his pleasure palace there.
That he does.
Okay, so I guess, Dom's not a big Hutball fan.
I really liked Hutball.
I mean, can you see them maybe in the future bringing it in?
No,
Never.
there's no huts in here.
It would be called something else.
It would be Gallywix Ball.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I could see Gallywix Ball.
We would Jokerson calling it Blitzball.
Blitzball, punt the gnome ball.
Hunt the gnome. I like.
Okay, so let's talk World PvP. Now, I was the dumb player when I started playing, and all my friends just happened to play on this server called Gorgonash. Oh boy, did I not know what I was getting into. I never really played an MMO besides, what was that one game called by Sony? EverQuest, that one. Obviously, I didn't like it very much, as we can tell. Didn't stay around long, so I didn't understand the difference in the servers. So PvP, It was just like, oh, is that some kind of tag for the server? Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna play here because my friends play here. Yeah, we had this Tauren druid who would just go around ganking the crap out of us, and he would kill us repeatedly. So I got up to what, level 50 or 60? I don't know. I was in Redridge back in the day before they changed it to a low level zone, and I'm running around, and there's this night elf riding around on her pretty little tiger, and she's yelling for help, and there's these horde rogues killing, just murdering the leveling alliance. Yes, it was probably you. Maybe Xizta was there then. I don't know. But so I'm running around and I'm mad. I'm a warrior. I'm a prot tank. So I'm getting pretty high in level and I'm getting excited about my abilities. So I find this dumb freaking priest just standing on top of a hill, and I run up that hill and I gank the shit out of him. And she screams, "No, don't kill it. That's mine." And I was like, "Ding! You dirty bitch. You dirty bitch. You've got 2 tunes on each server." And this is back in the day before you could have a Horde and Alliance tune on the same server. So this is in BC. This is before Wrath even launched. And so I put 2 and 2 together. She had 2 accounts and she was dual boxing it up. And she was trying to screw us. So the rogues, obviously they kill me and they kill the other dude who came over to help. But I got her and I was happy. So then, we end up on the bridge. You guys all know the bridge on Redridge?
Mm-hmm.
On one side you got the Horde, on one side you got the Alliance, and I am spamming chat, and people, I mean, my guild, we had quite a few people in our guild. I think we had over 100 members or so, and a lot of them were online, so I'm spamming, like, "Hey, come help me, these blah, blah, blah people are here, we need to kill them, we need to show them why they don't come to Redridge and mess with us." And so they start spamming it in Stormwind, because that's where everybody is. All the level 70s, they're sitting in Stormwind just chilling, waiting for a raid, and they're like, "Oh, wait, what the hell? PV? No, let's go." So they run out there, and I have never seen, since then, I haven't seen anything like this. But we had just massive amounts of people showing up and watching, and I ended up challenging, the dumb biatch that I don't like still to this day. She's still on my friends list. Literally, I've never taken her off my friends list so I could monitor her, just so I could go kill her if I had to. That's how obsessive I am about this. So, I say, "Oh yeah, it'll just be me." And of course, she's max level and I'm not. So I'm like, "Hey, let's get it on. I don't care. I'm going to use my prod ability." Man, she's stupid. She said, "Okay." As soon as I hit her about 3 times, I watched my boy Joel Seal go bloop with his mage and blow her the hell up. And I laughed at her, and then I teabagged her, and then a big battle ensued. For Horde and Alliance on Gorgonash. And my friend Dee Dee, she'll tell you, it was just, I was really good at stirring up trouble, and I loved World PvP, because that was what made it so great. Was it just happened. It was organic. Like, I ran into somebody being stupid, and I was all about killing them at any cost. I didn't care how many times I died. It didn't matter to me. I mean, do you guys have any good stories like that? Because we don't have that today.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
They're all really short, but so in Vanilla WoW, I was actually friends with a lot of people on the Alliance side. I leveled on Iridar, US Iridar, which is PvP. I was a Horde, but I was friends with the 2 top PvE guilds over there.
Okay.
And in turn, through proximity, knew a couple guys in the top PvP guild that was over there. So I literally had immunity to everything. So, my guild would go in and get, wiped out in Silithus, for doing something stupid. And I would literally be the only person that was left untouched. I'd make it, an accidental, Moonfire or Fairy Fire on me or something like that, but that was the extent of it. And everybody would flip out at me. And, I'd get, somebody in another guild to, talk shit, to me.
Yeah.
And it's "Oh, that's our number 2 competition over here," whatever, they're talking shit to me. All of a sudden, I'd be talking to my buddies, and next thing you know, there's 30 people camping this one Horde guy over there.
Oh my god!
They went and ran his mouth to me, and then I took it a step further, and we dominated. I had a group on the Horde side that we worked with the Alliance for, and every other week we would, every week we would alternate for the Stranglethorn fishing tournament, where anybody that was Horde would go and kill the Alliance except for this one person, whatever, that was fishing the tournament. Or it was a group of people, actually, because we had set this whole crazy thing up where we had a warlock and 2 people, and then the fourth person who would be fishing, and then they'd have a whole nother, like, the opposite faction would have a whole group in to come camp all the other people. So like those 4 people would be immune for the week. They'd go in, one guy would just start fishing at a node, and then the other 3 would go run over to find another node. They would summon him. So as soon as he was done fishing, he accepts the summon, he's in front of the node, he would start fishing immediately. Whatever, and then they had another group back in Booty Bay waiting to summon him. Like, he would drop group, go into the other group, and they would summon him right to Booty Bay. So he was just like teleporting everywhere to get, these fishing nodes. But then we would have my Horde team coming in and just wiping any alliance out that were trying to fish, and the alliance they were also trying to wipe out the alliance people that were trying to fish. And I think it was 27 weeks in a row we controlled the winners of the Stranglethorn fishing tournament.
And see, people like you, I absolutely despise, because being on a PvP server, as many times as I tried to do that damn fishing tournament, I've never been able to complete it because, man, on a PvP server, they'd come out of nowhere and there'd be 30 of them, and you'd be like, fuck, man, I just wanted to fish,
Yeah, one week we were missing a bunch of the alliance, so we actually had our guild, which had 500 accounts, not alts or anything, 500 accounts in it. Oh my
gosh.
And they would all, like, go on their biggest mount, which I think was, like, Kodos or something, back then. And everybody would be standing on Kodos in the water in the fishing nodes while people are trying to fish, and they'd be flipping out because they can't click on their bobbers. Like, oh my god, it was the best.
Yeah, and you were the ones everybody wanted to kill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But I had immunity on the server. Like, nobody would mess with me.
Yeah.
And then my final one, which is my all-time favorite, was before. No, there was a new alliance group that came in. They like transferred a bunch of people over from another server, and they were trying to rival with the other big alliance guild. And they came in. They were doing the Emerald Dream Dragons, whatever. And my guild at the time was not able to clear the Emerald Dream Dragons, so. When that alliance guild finally killed them and they're distributing all the loot, like, I stealthed in, I snuck around, and I'm standing inside the corpse of the dragon, and I had skinning back then, and I had the ZG Zulian Slicer that had +10 skinning, and some Finkel's Lava Dredge or whatever, so you needed to be able to skin, to have the 110 skinning or whatever to be able to
Good old 110 skinning.
Right.
That's throwing it back.
Yeah, and so that was the only way you could skin the dragon. So I'd be hiding inside the corpse, and as soon as all the loot's distributed, I'm clicking on the thing to try to skin it. I skinned it immediately, and I'll never forget. The corpse disappears, and I have like 7 or 9 dream scales show up in my bag, and then all of a sudden, there's just me standing there with this group of 40 alliance like around me, and I'm like, well, vanish, sprint away. Like, yeah. There was moonfires, fairy fires, starfalls, things everywhere. Mages were running all over the place, AoEing. They finally ended up getting me. They killed me, but it was worth it. So I screwed them out of their dream scales, and I miss things like that.
But and that's that organic gameplay that made it fun. That made even me, not a big PvPer, want to go do stuff like that. I don't know,
Yeah.
B, what do you got for us? Hold on. Wait,
Oh, geez.
I have to address chat. Fairfire, you're going to make me do this to you. Now I'm going to destroy you.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you, buddy, my opinions are my opinions alone, and that game sucked big dicks. I literally played for 30 days, well, had 30 days of playtime, absolutely hated that MMO. And then I threw it away because it was that bad. Like, it was so bad that I would rather play a Nintendo and play Legend of Zelda for the rest of my life. Even if I was going to die. I don't care.
What do you have against Legend of Zelda?
Oh,
How many
yeah.
times can you play the original? I can only play a game 3 times, maybe. Unless it's Mass Effect 2 and 3. I don't know. I'm addicted to those games. But my point is Legend of Zelda is not bad. Again, I'm going to say this. That's my opinion alone. If you get butthurt over my opinion, please don't come to my show. Because I'm going to tell you what my fucking opinion is. That's what we're here for. So, I love everybody. I'm glad everybody has an opinion. If you like a fucking game, good for you. Don't flip out in chat. B, back to you.
fine. I'm trying to think of real PvP moments. I mean, because I did start at.
I did learn all this from watching that guy on Battle Talk when I started all this podcast. Yes, you. Watching you.
I don't remember flipping out at anyone.
Oh God.
Should we go watch some train episodes of stuff again?
Choo choo.
You know what, Terinn?
Maybe after dark?
Terinn, you know what?
What, buddy?
After dark.
PS4 is better, and so are the Red Sox.
You're going to go there?
I just did.
Yankees number one.
I'm not allowed to talk.
We literally are number one. Let's just get that straight. We are in first place in our division. And number two, pretty sure you went on to the old Twitter and said, I'm going to buy me an Xbox.
I am saving words, but apparently I'm not allowed to say words because these two decided they'd rather talk about shit.
B's trying to say words again?
B, who do you like better, the Yankees or the Red Sox?
Choose your words carefully, B.
I don't watch sports.
So, would you rather wear Red Sox or...
I'm staying out of this!
Better
I don't know what
really
color socks the
think
Yankees wear. Navy?
really closely about your answer.
Staying out of this. I'm staying out of this. Staying out. Staying out. Out.
That is a nice tuxedo shirt you got on, Dom.
Yep,
see.
thank you. Me.
B wanted us to dress up today, so we did get all conceited for her.
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay, so I guess let's go ahead. I want to move on now. I do want to do our video question of the week. We do have one this week. It was
Does
sent
B
in.
not have a World PvP story?
No,
for
she doesn't. She just was like, I can't think of one.
Okay.
No, I was okay. I have like little,
Ah!
you know what?
Hey B, maybe you should like warm up or something before I do we do our shows, and you should read a thesaurus, a dictionary, something that gives you more words to use. I mean, I'll send you one in the mail. How's that sound?
I am attempting to not cuss up a storm at you all over stream. So there. Your face.
Oh God. Oh my God. Okay, B. Take it away before Dom falls out of his fucking chair again.
Good, he did. I can't anymore.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
We're going to move on. We're going to go ahead.
Just move
we
on.
got a video question of the week. Thank you, Jakeinator, because I'm super thrilled to get your video, and I thought it was super, super awesome. So let's take a look at Jake's question, and we'll see how everybody feels about it.
Hello, gentlemen? Or would you prefer to be called something else? This is I,
Sorry about that, guys.
Jakeinator, and I have some questions for you guys. I assume you've seen the Tease Pet amount by now. I certainly cannot wait to ride that Fell Hunter on my Demon Hunter. And then there's the Datamite mounts from Time Walking and Achievements. Those look pretty sweet too. Which mounts are you most excited about? Jakeinator out! And up and away in the Nether! Whee!
Okay, guys, so I have to say first, like, Jake has the best videos. I mean, just the ending itself, he was able to throw into the Nether, into his whole thing, like, that's just awesome. I really appreciate Jake coming out and giving us this question. So I want to start with you, Dom, and as you're talking about this, I do want to show off the mount, so I'm going to flip over to that for everybody to see. So, what do you think? What's your opinion? What mount are you looking forward to the most?
I had to fiddle with this.
So apparently I can't hear anything.
I can't hear anything either.
Dom, are you
Oh.
muted?
I'm muted.
I was like, is my headset broken?
I was too busy laughing from what happened before Jake's question that I had to mute myself
Oh, okay.
to refrain from laughing through the whole video. No, but the Fell Hunter from the collector's edition, I think
Okay.
is my favorite mount.
The Fell Hunter. B, what about you?
The moose.
The moose.
I had to add the gross collar pick there behind me. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, we've been promised this moose forever, and it looks pretty awesome. So I'm definitely excited for the moose.
Nobody wants to ride a moose.
I wanna
I
ride a
know.
moose.
I want to ride a moose. I'm telling you right now, to be a Tauren druid and to ride a moose when the Taurens in the new zone have moose horns, like, that's just really effed up all the way around.
A moose on a moose.
A moose on a moose on a moose. So, I mean, can that happen? I just think that's hilarious. And then I'm going to wait for it to break, so when I'm in kitty form or bear form and I'm riding a moose. Because that'll be hilarious.
Oh.
Yeah. As for the pet goes, I'm really looking forward to the Illidan Murky.
Oh, of course. And I've got to give Thas'dorah a lot of credit because he did call this before it happened. Before the picture was released, Thas'dorah, bravo to you because you did get it right. So
I don't like the name Murkadin because I think of Gul'dan.
yeah,
And
okay.
I instantly, when I hear Murkadin, I'm like, oh, it's a Gul'dan Murloc. And I think it should be like Murkadari or something like the Illidari.
Oh, that would be cool.
So,
I mean, I think at this point no. I think Merkalot was the best Merc pet they've made, in my opinion, just with the animation itself where he throws himself up in the air and the slams himself face first in the ground because he can't perform the action. But
I like the original Murky. I got him.
yeah,
I
see,
do.
I don't have the original Murky.
He just busts out the top hat and the cane and he starts dancing like the Warner Brother frog.
I just think it's time. We're 10 years into the game. The BlizzCon pet for the last how many years has been a Merc? I think it's time to move on to something new, Blizzard. I think it's
No.
time to have something
No.
game
Yeah.
changing.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think everyone likes the
Everybody likes Merc a lot.
I would be upset if we didn't have a Murloc.
Would you really? You
Yeah.
would honestly be upset
Yeah.
without a Merc.
I would riot.
yeah, I would too.
Okay, that's what you said last week. You were going to riot. So
So-
now we've got two topics Dom is going to riot on because of his damn rogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by the way, since we had that podcast, there was a nice little discussion that they had where they said, we are listening to your feedback.
Yes, but they haven't said they were going to change it. They did state the sewers is where they would like to put them, and
They're
they will
just going to
think
make the sewers.
about it.
The sewers are going to be the open battleground. It's going to be the
Start playing
Ashran
games.
of Legion. It's going to be the Dalaran sewers.
Okay.
It's gonna act like the TARDIS, where you know,
Oh my god.
it's bigger on the
Are you
inside.
serious? All right, B. So what about you? What do you think?
About the pet.
Yeah.
I think they should definitely stick with the mercs. Everyone likes them, and it would be offsetting. Though next year is the 10-year for BlizzCon,
Yes.
so I'd like to see them get a little bit more fancy. I mean, I think we should get something a little bit. I mean, obviously they're still gonna want to go with what expansions and games that are coming out. They like to stick with that, but I definitely would like to see them push a little bit farther. Give us something out. I mean, extra. I would
I
see
don't
something
know.
else.
I am no graphic designer, but I don't know how much it would take them to put into that to make it fancy.
Fancy. That depends on how fancy you
What do you
get.
want? Do you want some Murloc in a tuxedo? Is that fancy enough?
I want a mount.
You want a Murloc mount?
Yes.
You already
Imagine
talk
that
like a
mount.
Murloc, and now you want to mount a Murloc?
I have the polar bear mount that has the Murloc sitting on his head with the BlizzCon flag.
Yeah,
Like,
that's cool.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Mounting a Murloc? That sounds dirty.
I don't know where she's going with this, Dom.
I just said
mean,
mount.
She said mount
You went with the Murloc, and
a
I'm like, yeah,
Murloc.
that's what I want. Whatever. But
All right. Well,
I'm out. I want him out.
what a mount. Okay.
It could. I mean, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be a Murloc. It just has to involve a Murloc.
Well, okay. So, what mounts do Murlocs ride?
Frogs.
Yeah, frog mount. That'd be awesome.
They legit do. There's actually a new card in the Grand Tournament coming out for the Hearthstone expansion, where there's a Paladin Murloc, where he's riding a frog. Forget the name of the card.
So wait, is it confirmed now by Blizzard then? Since it's on the card, that's canon, right? So
Frog.
Murlocs can be Paladins, guys.
I want a frog.
Next race, Murlocs. We'll have to have some
Yeah.
kind of transistor thing. Translation. I don't know. But Murloc Paladins coming next expansion. With double jump. Off the frog mount. Yes.
Off the frog. Yeah.
Off the frog mount. Double jump. Murlocs. Oh, God.
Look what I started. I love it.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead, wrap it up. Dom, please tell people where we can find you.
Right down there at Xizta, XIZTA with an underscore. And make sure to check us out on our YouTube channel, Serious Gents. Follow us on Twitch, WordPress, and you can also find me on YouTube at ASO TV Podcast for something like 30 podcasts about TV shows a week.
Are we still doing our SummerSlam show next week?
Should, yeah.
Okay. We'll see you guys next Sunday with that. Undertaker going down. It's going to lose.
All the shows.
And B, where can everybody find you at?
At Huffy Puffy. At HUFFITYPUFFITY.
All right, guys, you can always find me at Terinn23. I'm also on Twitch at Terinn23. Feel free to drop in, send me a message, hit me up if you have any questions or you want to know anything. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate everybody watching. You guys are amazing. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
And cuts.